Hey, this is Natasha Rigsby, and I'm just going to share some of my thoughts as to why it's beneficial to work with a local lender. Selfishly, as an agent, the benefits to working with a local lender are chances are that your agent has a relationship with not just one, not just two, but probably 3, 4, maybe even 5 local lenders. And knowing that they have that relationship already established probably means that the communication is going to be amazing as well. For all of my experiences working with our local lending partners, that is absolutely one of my favorite things, is that I know that not only am I going to have a lender taking great care of buyers that I'm working with, but I'm never going to be in the dark about what's going on. The other thing is they're going to make sure that you know about all of the different potential options for loans that you could qualify for. They'll let you know about rate locks and when your loan is going to expire and if you can extend it and so on and so forth. You're just never going to be in the dark. And speaking from personal experience, I very distinctly remember working with some folks who had a broker as the go-between for their lender and them. And if I'm being very transparent while staying professional, it was a less than ideal situation. It was like pulling teeth all the time trying to get any information, and that was whether it was me trying to get the information from that broker or the buyers themselves. There was a lot of, hey, I feel like I'm in the dark, I don't know, coming from the buyers every time I talked to them. When I would reach out to the broker, the lender's broker, on behalf of the buyers, trying to get information, everything from how are we doing with the paperwork to are we clear to close, and really everything in between. I was met with a lot of silence. I was met with a lot of automatically going to voicemail. I was met with a lot of just waiting and waiting and waiting, regardless of how many times I followed up to get answers. And now I'm not saying, let me also throw this out there, I'm not saying every broker is like that, every lending, broker's lender is like that, or lender's broker, sorry, is like that. But it's generally kind of known behind the scenes, I guess, in the real estate world that a broker can complicate things, maybe is the best way to put it. And certainly in my most recent experience, it did. Also, my most recent experience, there was the added layer of a major hurricane hitting Central Florida, which really delayed everything, and that's through nobody's fault. We can't help an act of God, but there was a lot of waiting and waiting and waiting for more answers because we had to wait for the lender to make their decision, and then that had to go through the broker, and then that had to keep trickling down. And on the realtor side, on the title company side, there was just a lot of people waiting. The other thing, and this is speaking from an even more personal experience with purchasing a new construction home for myself, is my husband and I decided to go through the builder's lender, who were super nice, great experience working with the people, but one thing that they never discussed with us was a long-term rate lock. And when we started our personal process, our interest rate was about 3.4%, which was amazing. This was, during the unprecedented low rate times. And 3.4% when you have roughly a 10 to 12 month lead time for when your home's going to be completed is amazing. But that was never a conversation that was had with us. And I wasn't as familiar with new construction and had never purchased a new construction home myself. And it wasn't until a few months after, actually closer to the spring, when I was talking to one of our local lending partners that we work closely with, that I learned that they offered a 12-month rate lock. So I personally, and my husband said the same thing, that we would have rather given up the financial contribution that the builder was kicking in for using their lender, and had the lower rate locked in for the long term, for the entire year that our house was being built, because on our monthly mortgage payment, that would have made a significant difference. So again, the builder is, this isn't a knock on builders, this is just kind of factual and from my own personal experience, but a builder is out for the builder's best interests, whereas a local lender is really gonna help their folks, the buyers, get ideally the best rate if you're working with a great lender, the best rate, and just go over all the terms with them in a manner that makes sense to them and is going to help them really understand the process in the long term, while keeping them in the loop with communication all the way through that finish line and beyond.